So right now, investigators are trying to figure out what led to that deadly train crash in New Jersey. Adam Shapiro is on the ground in Hoboken. Adam, give us the latest.
Charles, the NTSB is here on site, the National Transportation Safety Board GO team, the investigators, and we know they're going to be here for possibly up to 10 days. They say the investigation will take 5 to 7 days. They have not actually begun the investigation, nor do they expect to be able to tell us what caused this crash by the end of their visit here to Hoboken. What we do know at this point, the train was moving at a high rate of speed. It should have been going 10 miles per hour, according to the NTSB, as it pulled into the station, but that was not the case. The latest news, too, is that the conductor has been released from the hospital. Excuse me, the engineer has been released from the hospital, and the engineer is the person who operates the train. His injuries were earlier today described as critical, but he was cooperating with investigators. He's been released from the hospital, and of course the NTSB will investigate and interview him. The woman who was killed by the falling debris from the roof, she has been identified. She was a 34-year-old woman, but the focus now is on what caused the accident. And here's what the NTSB said just literally within the last 20 minutes.
The canopy of the building is on top of the controlling car, and water has been leaking all day, so there may be some structural damage and weakness. Additionally, because of the age of the building, there is the possibility of asbestos, so there are concerns about that as well. A contractor will be coming in to remove parts of the canopy, and that's with the goal of making the area safe for our investigation activities to continue.
Now, as part of the investigation, Charles, you know how aircraft have what's called a black box? Well, trains have an event recorder. The NTSB wants to recover that event recorder to take whatever data is on it to find out about what was going on with this train as it approached the station and then the crash. They also have videos. There are videos from within the train station as well as videos on the train that they're going to recover and take a look at as well. But as you heard the NTSB say, this will be a slow investigation. Up to 5 to 7 days is how long it will take just to conduct the investigation, and there will be no conclusion, they say, in the immediate future. To answer the key question, what happened? Back to you.
Adam Shapiro, thank you very much. Well, the train that crashed lacked an automatic braking system that potentially could have prevented this whole thing. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi declared today that a 2015 deadline for installing this system on trains should have actually not have been extended. And it all begs the question, why are we spending like $64 billion on that highly unpopular high-speed California rail project when we should be spending a lot less money on projects that exist to keep people safe? Now to former Deputy Assistant Transportation Secretary Oliver McGee, who joins us now. Oliver, first of all, your thoughts on the crash in Hoboken today, a horrific scene that many people think could have been prevented in many ways.
Well, thank you for having me today, Charles. This is a very horrific type of crash because it involved the use of the transportation system going into a historic terminal, Hoboken, and destroying the structure. With the structural collapse combined with the high-speed crash, because it actually bumped the bumper and was airborne into the terminal, that's what made the impact so horrific and the picture so spectacular. But the key thing is that what's most important, few fatalities were as a result of this crash, but at the same time there were tremendous amount of injuries, mainly because of the train ran into a building.
Right, Oliver, I mean, but that's the point. We've seen this sort of scene now far too often. We saw one like this in New York where the conductor was going too fast recently and the train flew off the tracks. We've seen it with Amtrak over and over again. We marvel at the trains in Europe, which have been surpassed by the trains in China. So why have we spent so much money, or why are we spending money on boondoggles? I mean, for instance, the $60 to $70 billion on a bullet train in California that nobody wants, that people think no one will use, when lives are at stake right now.
Well, we built a high-speed rail system, Charles, in this country. If everybody's afraid of the $69 billion price tag in California, try a $500 billion. Yes, that's a big price tag.
It's a big price tag. Would it cost that much to keep to make something like this automatic brake system? Honestly, would it cost $500 billion to install those things? Would it cost that much money to make the Amtrak train, the Acela, really something that we could marvel at?
No, the positive train control is much more of a, it's about $2 billion a year, basically, to be able to develop this and to maintain it. But the key issue is that in 30 years, it would be about approximately 30 to 40 billion. So both of these two options are a high price tag. But more importantly, the key is not high-speed rail, Charles, at 350 miles per hour. It's actually moderate speed rail at 220 miles per hour. Because it's really about how we look at the use of efficiency, the BTUs that are used in actually driving the train, and how we use alternative sources of energy, electricity, but also renewable energy to run these moderate speed rails, which would be much more efficient compared to cars and trains that we have today.
In the meantime,
and planes as well.
I think we're all hoping, as we're watching some of this horrific footage on the screen there, that the right amount of money is diverted from what I think is going to be a boondoggle into at least making the existing system safe for all people. Thanks a lot, Oliver. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Charles.
All right, coming up, Dave.